hello again. Thank you guys.
No worries, all good. We still have some more people to join us. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, let everyone fill in. Okay. Does it look like we have everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Marlon, do you need anything to get started, or are you good to go ahead and share?
Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen here.
Awesome.
And sorry, Brandon, for questions, should we just have everybody hold? Should we put it in the chat? I think it'd probably be better if everybody puts themselves on mute so we don't get.
Yeah. Really good question. I would say let's try to utilize the chat feature, and then we could kind of look for good pause points to sort of answer some of these questions throughout, and then maybe let's try to hold, maybe 10 minutes towards the end to answer the rest of them. I'll create a running list of items that if there's any that come up that we need to sort of take offline and then answer over email, I'll start building that list on my notes.
Thank you.
And I'll also be pausing quite a bit throughout this so we can, if anybody has questions that come up, we can go through them then.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, we're recording to the cloud, so I think we should be good.
All right, cool. All right, is everyone seeing Sitecore right now on my screen? Yes, okay. All right, so I don't believe I've done a training session with you guys before. The way I do them is I'll be toggling back and forth between the back end of Sitecore here and also my training doc, which is just this Word doc that goes through everything in very granular detail. And we'll be sending this document to you guys after all this. So if it feels like it's a lot, or if it seems like I'm going too quickly or anything like that, you will be able to have this as a reference after this session. This document is it's 4 templates, and it ended up being 48 pages, which sounds like a lot, but it's a lot of screenshots, and it's just, I really broke things down for you. So hopefully that's not too overwhelming. But yeah, so this training session is going to be these 4 deliverable 1 templates, which is the center landing, the lab landing, article page, and detail page. So I'll just jump right into the first one, the center landing. And the way that I broke down each section is I've got the JIRA page type link, and then also I'll make sure to add all the QA links so that you guys can reference it on your own time. So the first one here, the center landing, this is just the entire page, and I broke down what each of them are. So at the very top here, we've got the center landing hero. We got section navigation right here underneath the hero. All of this is the overview promo. And then we've got video or image feature. And then this is the tiled list promo. And I'm going to go into these in more detail. I'm just going very overview right now. This one is the people promo. Here's the double promo, and then the last is the related promo. So the first one, center landing hero, I broke it down even more here. It's built up of, we've got the hero image back here. And then all the text on here is the hero title, the small, hero title large, hero subtitle, and then each of these is a contact. So let me jump into Sitecore so you can see that. And all of my test content is going to be, currently it's right here. It's this center landing Mullen, this, and then everything under here is just a test page. So if you guys go in here, feel free to mess around with it. This is all test content, free to play around with things and see how they all work. So the hero is right here. So here is, and these are all just text fields. So the hero title small and the hero title large. Just type in your text there, and then the hero image is just an image uploader selector here. And then the subtitle text. So again, all of that is this text right here. And then these 4 boxes, these are the contact links. So there's up to 4 of them. Or not, it's contact 1, and then all the ones obviously with 1 are grouped together, and then there's contact 2, and then it goes all the way up to 3 and 4. So that is the header here. The next part is the section navigation. Toggle back to my training doc here. So the section navigation is, it's just going to be a selector for you to choose the pages that you want to be displayed there. It is only going to open up on the item itself and any child pages. Let's see. Some of the order, and also as we go through this, there are just a couple JIRA tickets that are still open. One of them is to kind of reorder some of these to make it more in the flow of what the actual page is, so you're not jumping around too much to try to find things. But here's the section nav. Like I said, it's a selector. It's going to open up on the item itself, and then all the child pages. So anything that you want to be on the section landing, you'll just have to double click and move them over here. And just to note, you will also have to move the item itself for it to also be on here. And then all the child pages, if there are any, will be automatically displayed under here. And you'll see if there's a little arrow icon if there are any child pages. All right. Any questions on anything so far? I think everything's pretty straightforward. Yep. Okay. Moving right along. The next part here is the overview promo / simple call out. So that is going to be this text here right underneath the section landing. So we've got this overview title, overview subtitle, overview text, and then also a button. And then you also have this blue sidebar section here. On this page, there's only these 2. It's the mission and the vision. There's another page that has more of those, but for this one, it's just these 2, the first 2 call out sections there. So this is just a screenshot of those fields. They're all either just a text box field or a rich text rich text editor for the overview text. Let me show that to you. So the overview, here we go, overview promo. So again, here's the text fields for the title, the subtitle, and then here's your rich text editor. And then the button is, you can change the text, and then here's the, where you can change the link of where you want that button to go to. The overview call out, so this is going to be the blue sidebar. You have a checkbox option if you want to remove it, the entire sidebar, you can just uncheck that. And then for the actual content, this one should only be the first two. So call out 1 and call out 2. And also, this is also on another page. So you're going to see a little bit of extra stuff on here that this page doesn't use. Like the call out links, that's actually not going to be used on this page. So you can ignore that. As well as like the call out 3 and call out 4. Those are used on another page. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so that's it for that section. The next one is video or image feature. So that is going to be this component. You got the text here on the left, which has the feature title and the feature text. And then the main part is either going to be an image or a video, whichever one you choose. So the data source, this is slightly different than how the other components are added to the page. It's not actually added on the page. You're actually going to go into this auxiliary folder and point to it through the presentation details. This is just so that it makes it easier for you guys to point different pages to the same content without having to re-enter it a bunch of times. So the auxiliary folder is going to be down here. Let's see, where is it? So auxiliary content and then CNRI. And then here's going to be all the components that are going to utilize this, this folder here. So for the video and image feature folder, you're just going to expand that. And then you can just insert a new video or image feature item. And then this item is just going to have, like I said, either the feature title, feature text. You're either going to use the image selector here. You're just going to browse through the media library and find your image, or you're going to use this video ID field. The video ID field is not going to be like the full link. It's actually just going to be like the end of the YouTube link. I have an example here. So if you go to, you find your video on YouTube, it's just going to be this last like ID text right here. So you're just going to copy that and paste it into that field.
That's fine, because that's how we do it now. So they all.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so you guys already know. That was new to me. So, okay, cool.
Where they didn't know, they know how.
Okay, great. And then the feature caption is going to be for either whichever one you are choosing to use, the video or the image. So then once you create your image, you guys are probably already familiar with this process as well. You're just going to go back to your item. In this case, it would be the center landing, and then you would point to it through the presentation details.
Hey Milne, this is one of the ones I did add it to the center landing template as well. So I don't know if we want to, it's one of those where we want it available in both places, both on the context item and in, setting the data source for the rendering. But but perhaps unicorn needs to be synced. I just wanted to let you know that this was also on the center landing template.
Yeah, I guess that could be a good time to ask you guys. Should it be on here? Yeah, I do see it. So it is still here. So you could enter it here.
I'm thinking no, because it's going to be confusing to the content editors, because it'll be harder for people to remember to look in the presentation details to see if it's somewhere else. A, when they want to modify it, but B, it's not going to be reusable if it's here, but it's going to be reusable there. So I think it's going to be more confusing. You guys can tell me if you disagree, since you guys are doing most of the work, but I think it would be more straightforward just to have it in one place.
Okay, yeah, I know, I agree with you too. Okay, so we will make sure to remove it from here, and then just point to it in this auxiliary folder here.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, of course. All right. So the next item was the tiled list promo. So that's this component here. We've got the tiled list heading, tiled list text underneath the heading, and then the tiled list items. So this is going to be in the page itself. We're not using the auxiliary folder for this one. This is, oops. There it is. So the header is just a text field. Text is a rich text editor. And then to select the items to be displayed there is just it's a content tree selector. So you just move the items that you want over to the right side here. And then it'll just show the teaser image and the short title to whichever ones that you choose. So that one's pretty straightforward as well. The next one is the people promo. This one, we've got the people heading, the actual people items, and then it also has a button, text, and link here. So here are the fields for this one. It's pretty straightforward too. It's just got the text field header. People is going to be a selector, and then the button, text, and link.
I've just got a quick question. Is the text that's capitalized in all the designs, is it forced capitalized regardless of how people type it?
I believe it is. We can do a quick test. I believe that's how all the buttons are, but I just want to double check before I tell you that. Yes.
Okay, perfect, thanks.
All right, I just wanted to show you the people selector here. This currently opens up on the entire folder or on the entire content tree, so you can pick and choose if you want to use, the provider items or the, I don't remember where exactly it is, but I know there's some research profiles too, so you can.
It's about CRI, and then it's faculty and leadership directory.
Yes, that's it. You know. Yes. So I actually did have a question for you guys actually on this. For the taxonomy, because you can either choose to do it this way and manually add them like this, or if you don't use the selector, you can choose to use taxonomy tags. Should the taxonomy be on both the find a provider, like through under the visit, and the one that you just said, the under the about CR?
The leadership, yeah. I don't know, I know we're going to be using taxonomy a lot on this site, which I'm glad, but we don't really use it very much on the site now. So I don't know, Ali can probably answer it better for me because I don't know that much about how it works. Like right now we have it on like both. You have to have a common word on both or something, but
Yeah.
this confuses me. So I'll let Ali speak.
So you're asking if the taxonomy of like they have to be matching, right, on something. So are we saying the landing page has to be referenced on each of these people's taxonomy field?
Yeah, so my question was, the way we have it set up right now is that the taxonomy tag will have to match on this page, on the center landing page, and the about CNR, I just should pull that up. It's only on the, let me just,
Yeah, about CNRI.
yeah.
And then go down, faculty and leadership director.
If you're on F3, oh, okay.
Yeah, so currently it's only the page itself, the center landing, and then these faculty and leadership. So these people, so not
Okay.
not
Not
up
providers.
here. Should it be on both, or is it fine the way it is?
I'm guessing it's fine. So the taxonomy, so we have to create a tag for each of these centers, right? So it's a separate item. You're not referencing it directly. So it's a taxonomy item that needs to be created, and then that should be on both the page itself as well as the research profile. If that's the case, I think that makes sense. But unless there's a different way to reference it.
The way it is now, I guess that's another question. If there should be another tag, the way I was doing it now is if any of these tags match these, if they match on the center landing or in the faculty and leadership, it doesn't matter. There wasn't a specific one that.
I think the center landing page is going to be something that's manually content managed more often than not. Like 12 or how many slides? There's like 4 people up to 3 slides worth of people. So like 12 can be featured, or recommended maximum of 12 people on that page. So I really think that the centers are probably going to control that.
Okay.
So if like, let's say a researcher's in the news, then that research would be featured. So yeah, I don't think the taxonomy would drive it very frequently at all.
Okay.
I also think that if I understand what you're asking, I don't think there's going to be occasions. Now I know when as soon as I say that it changes, but that we're going to pull the provider profiles on as opposed to the research profiles. So if the same doctor, which is a lot of the cases, has both, it would, Psychor would get confused, the content editor would get confused if they all had the same taxonomy, because you'd end up with 2 of the same people, basically, even though one would be their research and one would be their provider profile. So I would say leave the provider profiles out of the picture in terms of the taxonomy, at least.
Yeah, I agree with that. Don't they current faculty bio profiles, doesn't that have something where you make an association with their center?
Oh, with their center?
It does, but I don't believe many of them are tagged at the moment.
That's
Okay.
correct, yeah.
There's a field that's called titles and centers, but I think when we did a quick overview, there was like 8 researchers that had that field filled out.
Ah, you're
And
killing.
it's also kind of a duplication of that relationship too. So I guess one other follow-up question would be if there are no people selected, do you want us to just pick 3 random people, or should that component be empty? if there's nothing filled in there. Just a quick question on that.
Well, I'm thinking,
Yes.
like, and Jen can chime in on this, CTSI, worst acronym ever. They might not have a team component on that page at all.
Okay.
Correct.
So, correct? Was that a correct, Jen?
That is a correct.
Woohoo! So that's the use case. That would probably be, I have no people because I immediately have a link on the very top that says, go to our external website to learn more about CT, CSI, Miami. Acronym is. But so yeah, I think that's the case you should base this on. So if those fields are blank on the center landing page, no people show up.
I agree.
Okay.
What it's worth. Totally agree.
Okay, so don't fall back on taxonomy then.
Yep.
No.
Okay, cool. Was there any other questions on that part, or if not, I'll just keep moving on through.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then just to show you guys this again, once these are all filled out, they scroll through as a carousel here, and then the card flips, and you can see that content on the back. All right. The next one is the double promo. So it's just this blue section here. Got the double promo heading, and then the double promo link, title and link, number 1, and then number 2 over here. And then the text underneath. And I'll just show you here in the back end. So double promo is, let's see. Here we go. So we've got the heading and title, and then the text and link. And then the same for double promo 2, which is obviously just right and left sides. So that one is pretty straightforward. Oh shoot, actually this was another one that we had added to the page by mistake, and it actually should not be on this page. It should be in the auxiliary folder. So that's going to be
it's in both again. So it wasn't a mistake. I think maybe we just need to do an inventory of each of these sections. If it's the data source will override anything you enter in here. Just wanted to also throw that out there. But we can remove these sections if you just want to manage it in auxiliary content. It's a really easy change. Sorry, Melon.
No, yeah, that was, yeah. I think, yeah, this is saying that it should be just an auxiliary folder. So yeah, just like the other component, I think that this one will be removed. And then we will just point to it from there, and you'll point to it in the presentation details. So this I wrote when I wasn't sure. So which should override the other is not a question, since it will only be in one place.
Okay. So after this, I mean, training, and then we have our QA. So should we wait to hear from you, Brandon, as far as this has been cleaned up and those things have been removed, or should Lori and I just flag it in our tickets back to you if we see them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I would really let whether or not you guys need to enter content maybe drive that. For instance, on our foundations projects, we have a very limited amount of time to get everything in Sitecore, get all the content edited and then launched. If we don't have those pressures, it might make sense to hold off until we have these things sort of squared away to do the QA. If there is timeline pressures to get content added, it might make sense to do this now and then sort of be a little bit more agile with the changes. I might need to take a look into the timeline, but my gut's saying it probably makes sense to hold off if there's no real content implications like soon.
And I do have tickets for these things. I think it just, you know, whenever Jesse and Meg can get to them and push them. Hopefully that should be shortly.
Okay.
Yeah.
A quick question, will we be able to add these external data source components via Experience Editor too? Or is that just for presentation details right now?
Jesse, I'm going to defer that one to you.
Sure. Yeah, I think preliminarily, I kind of like, I would say it needs a little bit more polish in the Experience Editor. It's usable. Maybe we can, I'll circle back with you, Melon, after this, and maybe we can take a look and just see which ones need some cleanup, but it's usable. Sometimes the Experience Editor doesn't look as pretty as the actual site itself, obviously, but it will be usable.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. All right. And then the last component on this page was the related news promo. And that is, we've got the header and then each news item and then the button itself. So these images are going to be obviously the teaser images, and then I believe these are the short titles. And then these little labels here are going to be taxonomy driven. So this is another one that is going to be in the auxiliary folder, and we'll point to it through the presentation details or Experience Editor if that's how people are going to be adding those. And then the fields themselves. So the header is just text field. You can either manually add them, sort of like the people promo. You can either add them through the selector here. Let me switch over to the actual site core field. Let me close this. So here's related news, and here we go. So you can either manually add them, and it's going to be, you can only add these article pages or these external news items, which is also in the auxiliary folder, which is here. So either add these items or article pages that you guys create under the research pages. And then here's obviously the news button or news link. Okay, and then and then for the sorry, these there's a ticket open for the text styling here. I know that's not exactly what it looked like in the design, so we have that open for a developer to fix that. And then for the actual, these terms, the news and pain medicine, these are by taxonomy. So so this page here, I'll show you where that's being pulled from. So that was my article page 2. And then if I go down, so the content type is actually, sorry, that part is not taxonomy. So there's news, and then that's being pulled from this content type dropdown. The second part here, this pain medicine, that is what is coming from taxonomy, which is here. And that, I believe wraps up everything for the center landing. Are there any other questions that we didn't cover that you guys want to ask about that or about any of the components that we went over for this one?
So I think the most recent one you just showed, the related news promo, that should also work with taxonomy, right? And not just manually selecting.
Oh, yes, right. Yes. So if you have the, sorry, I need to add that in here. If you check this news show featured checkbox, then that will be pulling from taxonomy. But I'm not sure, Jesse, does that override if you have something manually selected? How is that supposed to?
Sorry, what's the question?
When you're showing the news,
Mhm.
the news component, if you're using taxonomy to display them.
Yeah, that's more of like a fallback, similar to the previous the people promo, the way the taxonomy matching was set up there. Just kind of a fallback. Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I'll add some more. I'll add another note about that before we send this document to you guys. Okay, moving on to the next template, the research lab landing. So here is, again, just the overall, the big template here. So we've got on top the landing hero, section landing, the overview promo with this blue sidebar, which is the lab facts call out, video or image feature, the double promo, and then the featured publications and related news. So a lot of these are similar to the last one, the center landing. So I didn't go in and explain, all the ones that are reused. So double promo, I'm not going to go over again, or related news or the image feature. So the new ones that are new to this template are the landing hero, which is built up with this this hero link override, this hero title, and then hero image. So, and then here's just the fields for that. And you can choose to hide the hero link if you use this checkbox here. And let me show you. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. It's just the same thing. I just wanted to show it to you guys. And the next one is the overview promo, the lab facts callout, which is almost exactly the same as the other one. The only difference is that you can add links, and you can also add contact information and these social media links. So instead of it just being text here, you can actually use the selector. Let me show you. So here's sorry, let me just backtrack for a second here. So we've got this overview text, which is going to be using this overview text, rich text editor. And then obviously the button, which is going to display underneath all that text. And then everything here in the blue sidebar is going to be under this overview callout. So again, you can choose to display it or not using this checkbox. And then you'll still use the heading But this time, this uses the call out links, which is just a selector where you can choose any.
Sorry, Malin.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, I just double checked the code on those, and actually you have the option to use both text and or links pretty much on any of those call outs. So they're not really restricted to one page or the other. They're kind of reusable within both.
Okay. Okay, yeah, all right, cool. So yeah, okay, if you wanted to use either or, I guess I was just following the design or the HTML or whichever. But if yeah, you can use whichever then, which is good to know. So yeah, so you've got up to 3 headings and text link combinations, which is going to be just up here, these 3 sections. And then the contact is going to be the overview contact information. So you've got your name, link, email, phone. And then underneath that is the social media links. And you guys can pick and choose whichever ones you guys want to use. And then the logos will be automatically displayed. Just a note, I do have another ticket created to fix these logos. I know some of them look a little off. I think that's it from that section. And then the next new section is the featured publications, which looks like this. So you've got your publications heading and then the actual featured publications themselves. So you can choose up to 5. And then you can choose to display 1 or 2 or none of these CTAs at the bottom here. The publications themselves are in the auxiliary folder. Here, let me get to that part. Okay, here they are. So here's the heading, just a text box field, and then the publications. This is just going to open up on that folder, and this folder here is in the auxiliary folder down here. So here's where you'll go to edit them, and then they'll just pop up in this selector here, and then you'll just move them over as just up to 5. You can move over here. And then here are your button options. So you got 1 or 2. And then everything else that was on that page is also used on the center landing. So we've already gone over those things. So that is actually it for the lab landing. Are there any other questions on this one?
Quick question, not a big deal, but on the landing hero, there was a checkbox there, right? And there's also a link and it says hide the link. So if the checkbox is not checked, but there's no link, does it do anything?
Yes, that's right. Actually, I believe we've got another ticket for that one.
Okay.
Let me get back to that. Yeah, that's right. Where is it? So you're talking about this one?
Right.
Yeah, right. So that actually, let's see.
I think by default it links back to the page before, which is why we added the hide link, so it doesn't link back.
Okay.
Is that?
Or you can override where it links to.
I
Yeah,
think.
Gotcha.
right now the hide
Yeah.
link, I think it just doesn't even render it, correct? And you wanted me to make a small change there. That's still pending, but we can fix that.
I think
It might be fine. So if the hero link is override is not populated and the checkbox is not populated, it looks to the parent or something like that to find the link.
Correct.
Or
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Larry the Cable Guy. Get her done.
Okay, yes, so. Wait, so I hit hide hero link.
Yeah. Is it doing the reverse? It could just be a bit switch on my part. But
Yes.
okay, just reverse it.
Yes. Yeah, and I think as we go to the next one, I think there's another issue with that. Or no, maybe I was just mixed up. Yeah, I think that is just what the issue is. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Hey, Malin,
Yeah.
do we have the recommended image sizes for the components in the training documentation already, or is that something we'll need to get from graphic design?
I do not have that here. Yeah, if we can get that from design, that would be great. And then I can add that in here.
Okay, perfect. I'll reach out to them now. Thanks.
Okay. Cool. All right, so the next one is the article page. Here's an overview of what it looks like. So we have the article header on the top. We've got the related content rail on the right side here. And then all of this is body copy. And then we've got the image carousel and then more body copy. And then we've got the generic promo here. And then related updates. All right, so the first one, article header, that one is, I kind of already touched on this before. We've got the content type, which is that drop down, and then the research area tag, and then the long title, and then the date. So I'll show you back in Sitecore. All right, so you can choose, let's see, wait, where am I?
Malin, I have a quick question. Is the date optional?
That's a good question. I guess well, should it be optional? I guess I can throw that back to you.
Probably, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it should be.
Okay, I don't think it is right now. I think if I clear it, it's gonna have that like, it's gonna be like January 1st, 001. So I can add a ticket and make sure that that's optional. Yeah,
Thank
so,
you.
yeah.
This is different than the detail page, right? This is the article, meaning news article. So doesn't that kind of require a date field for sorting and whatnot? If that's not populated, will that be a problem for something else?
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure how you guys are going to be adding all these and how they're going to be organized in here, but
Checkbox field in addition, possibly just to hide it.
Yeah, I'm just, for news articles, typically we have dates. So I'm just making sure our team is understanding the difference. It's not a detail page. It's an news article page. Typically we have a date, but maybe we don't. There might be situations why that makes sense, but I just want to mention possible repercussions.
No, I think you're right, Ollie. I think Jennifer and I were thinking of it as the detail page, but since it's an article, it's really a news page. You're right. I think we can strike our request.
Yep.
Okay, I was vaguely remembering wanting the date to be required, so that makes sense. Okay.
well, I guess to go on top of that, when you create an article page, this isn't automatically populated. So it could be possible for somebody to miss it and accidentally leave it like this. So maybe we should make it that it should be required, like you can't save it or publish it unless it's filled out.
Right, we should make it required.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. So then these other fields here, the content type, this is just a drop down. You have all these different options here. And then this will be displayed on the top here. So this was lunch and learn. And then all of these are, these are taxonomy tags here, which this doesn't look great, but that was just me testing just what you could add there.
Oh, that's totally going to happen to us. Totally going to happen.
Yeah, I think I was actually looking for a good example to send Lori about how it looks when they get long.
Yeah, there you go. And then also to show you, this is on the detail page. So that's again where those things are going to show up. If they're pulled on a like this related news promo, these are the same tags here that you see up here.
And that page is a good example of why we need image specs too, because
Yes.
this one is so much smaller and it looks.
Yes, yes, that's exactly right.
The right one is a whole other story because the carrot doesn't belong there, but I don't know where else it goes. So.
Oh yeah, this right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just created a ticket for that too, because I don't know if there's a way to like, if that does happen, that we can like wrap this, like the last word back with it. So that's not just hanging out there by itself.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yep, I believe that's the header. And then the related content rail, that's everything that you see on the right side there. So that's this stuff here on the right. And those are all just going to be, these are all just using selectors. So related labs, it's just an opening on the entire content tree. Related scientists, also just opening on the entire content tree. And then
For related scientists, do you guys want us to narrow that down to just the research profiles if you don't necessarily want the provider profiles tagged anywhere?
There are some doctors who, like, they're mentioned in the research sections. They don't have a research profile though. So there could be a use case for that.
Okay, that's why I kind of left it as an open tree instead of narrowing it down.
Is it, I don't know enough about Sitecore. Can we default to the provider profile? I mean, the research profiles, and then people have to navigate out to purposefully get to the other ones?
It doesn't typically let you backtrack.
Okay.
I can narrow it so it's at least showing the main sites instead of all
Meg,
the sites.
can we use the other multi-data source tree list field and then just pick those two locations?
Yeah, actually. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
And then just another note, just the headers are automatically added. And if you don't add anything, it just won't be displayed. So if you just decide to choose related labs, that'll be the only one. The other headers and everything won't be displayed. Okay, and then the next section is the body copy. So the body copy is pretty big on this one. You obviously have your traditional, your rich text, or you can add some inline videos or inline images or a pull quote. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with how to use snippets. But that is how we're going to add those to the page. So that'll be under all of it is going to be under the same field here, under the body copy. So just click show editor. it's going to open up. You can obviously just type in your rich text the way you do normally, but then to add the videos, images, or the pull quotes, you're gonna go here in this little icon here on the very end. It's insert code snippet. Click the drop down. Click the drop down here. And you've got a couple different options here. So you have the image, the pull quote, and the video. And if you want to add one of these, let me just go down. And I'll show you. So the image, this is what it's gonna show when you add it to the page. So to put an image in there, you're just gonna highlight and then choose your Sitecore image. So I'm just gonna open up the media library. And just pick, I don't know, just some random. My screen is all, because I'm sharing my screen, I've got these different controls. I can't. Sorry, bear with me.
Take your time, Molly.
It's, oh, my screen, what is going on here? Okay, let me zoom out, maybe that'll. Almost.
Try maximizing that window. There's a maximize button on the rich text editor.
Is that
next to where you close it? The modal.
There we go. This.
Yeah.
There we go. Ah, okay. All right. So that was probably a bad image to choose because I think it was a massive one. And yep, that was, yeah. So.
A question while that loads. Are snippets, once we implement, will the snippets be available across the site? So do we need to call them CNRI, or are they only available within each template?
They should be on every template, right, Meg? I think you're the one who did those.
The snippets will be available on every rich text field that uses the CNHS full rich text editor.
So we should, Alicia was saying maybe take them off, but if it's going to be available when folks are like in primary care or something, we should keep them well labeled.
Sorry, it'll only apply to the research site.
Yeah.
So we made a separate CNRI full rich text, sorry.
Great, okay. Then I agree with Alicia, we don't need to recall it CNRI each time.
Oh, gotcha, sure.
On any other templates, Meg?
No, it should just be on the body content.
Right, yes. So yeah, the image will just be in place of where you highlighted image, and then you select it. It'll just pop up in the rich text just like this. Make sure it's not a massive one like the one I just chose. And then for the image or for the caption title and caption text, you'll just do the same thing. You'll just highlight and then just type in whatever you want it to be. Text here, whatever. And then same for the caption text. Or you can remove it if you decide to do that. And then let me just show you the others just really quickly. They all act the same way, except for the video is slightly different. I'll show you that. So the pull quote, let me just get a little bit of space here. So the pull quote automatically loads with this little quote icon here. And then you've got text. You'll just highlight and paste whatever text you want in there. And then same thing for the image, just highlight and go into Sitecore Media and choose the author image that you want to have in there. I think we actually had, oh,
Those images have to be like sized and in a circle, or is it doing?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. The image that I was testing with was already in an oval, but if you add, yeah, it's not gonna be, yeah. So it'll have to be pre-sized and pre-shaped and everything if you're gonna add it here. So
Sorry, I missed why you said, why is everything coming in super?
it's, yeah, I'm choosing, these are really bad examples. If I go up, let's see, where is my, this is not the right item that I had originally added, but I did have here, let me just.
Alicia, we just have way too many huge images in our media library. That's we just keep stumbling on them. If you go into like CNHS, if you go into the media library and then there's CNHS and then there's images and you go into like, you go into, I don't know, if you show me then I'll, but there should be some decent sized ones in there.
I know I added one in here. Where did it go is the question. Let's see. Well,
Well, while you're poking around, I got a question.
yeah.
I mean, so we're a little worried about the snippet in the instance of the pull quote. I mean, it looks like it would, not require a heck of a lot for an image. The image with just a caption, because that's a square. Video with a caption, that's pretty straightforward. But having to do like, I'm going to put a headshot that's already been pre-sized, and that looks like we're probably gonna, is there another approach that we missed on that? Like maybe a pull quote wasn't the best, use case for a snippet, and maybe it should have been something else, or,
Do you mean, sorry,
just, looking at this pull quote, right? So copy and paste the text in there, and then the image has to be pre-sorted or pre-sized and cropped in a circle. Little concerned about the editors managing all that. So I was just wondering, was there a different approach we could have considered for that, or?
let me double check that, because I'm looking at the CSS and it looks like we might have it set to at least give it the circle automatically.
Yeah, I just feel like, even if.
And it should be resizing it to 80. This might look funny because we're looking at the rich text editor.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, because I know, they're doing a lot of work with a 525 by 525 standard profile image. So considering if they had already the headshot loaded up at that dimension, couldn't you just like drop a circle over that and scale it, and maybe
It does. Yeah, it looks like we are doing that. Let me see if I can.
Do you want me to, I can try and see if I.
Don't take Limperopolis.
So Malin, can you hear me?
Yeah.
If you go into there, yeah, and then images. And then there's find a provider. It should be alphabetical. I can't promise. Yeah, a couple more down. Okay, now headshots. Okay, and then pick like B, go into like B and look for Berul. BER. Hopefully he has the right size headshot. BERUL. Oh, but you're an F3, so it might not be there. Yeah, it is. Keep going down.
Oh, here we go. This one?
Next one.
Rule C.
Next one down.
Oh.
It looks like we definitely do add the circle. There might be an instance where you need to set the image size. So like when I selected a random profile, I got like a 500 by 500 pixel image. If I set that to 80 by 80, then it showed fine like a little icon circle photo. So we do make a circle. And we might be able to ask for then just to edit the sizing of the image too.
The example she just pulled up didn't make a circle.
It
That's
might
in the
not.
rich text though, right?
Ah.
It might be different. Ooh.
But yeah, so like for some reason it's when you select the image, it keeps the height, but then it adjusts the width to the, so if you set the height and width on the image in the content editor, it's like if you hit show editor again.
Oh.
And then if you right click on the image and go to the properties, I just set it to 80 by 80 for height and width, and then it shows like a perfect circle.
Okay.
But we can certainly ask Frenan to, it looks like they're adjusting for the width already, but they're not adjusting the height. So that might be because they weren't exactly expecting a perfectly square photo.
Problem is our standard is that the headshots are perfectly square, but there's a percentage of them that are not. So you have to be able to work with both of those. I don't know how to tell you to work with both of them, but
gotcha.
Well, in that instance, I would just think that, you know, if it's 520, if it's the standard square, you could use it. If not, then there's the pull quote without image, right? Isn't that an option for us or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
And then you sit there and go, see, no picture for you.
Tried that, they don't seem to care.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
But one last thing, if you can document just that flexing with the images and whatever.
Will there ever be a
documentation
time where, like, say, an executive leader will travel to another office that isn't integration?
All right, and then the last snippet was the video. So this one was slightly different, and I think it's, now that I'm thinking about it, I think we're gonna have to make some edits to it, the way we are entering it. So it's not exactly, you can't just highlight and paste the way you do with the other ones. The way it's set up is going into the HTML. And I don't know, you guys tell us, I guess, if this is going to be okay or not. But so you find it at the end or wherever you pasted it. So you see video iframe code, and that is where you're going to paste it instead of it being on the design. And maybe this is a quick fix on our end, if Meg or Jesse can speak to that, but it wasn't working for me when I was pasting it this way. And I don't know if that's just because there's a lot more to it with the iframe code.
Isn't the snippet, or let me rephrase the question. Shouldn't the snippet be able to just take the YouTube ID, or it's not, it's completely different than how we're putting it otherwise on the page?
Yeah, so at the time I worked on that one first, and it didn't, hit me upside the head that we were doing YouTube videos site-wide. So we can change that so it's just a YouTube ID.
That would be wonderful.
It might still need to be edited in the HTML view though, because you're editing an HTML attribute. versus like editing text.
Mhm.
Yeah, that wouldn't be my first choice because people that don't know HTML can accidentally break things.
Mhm.
And B, those of us that do know HTML will be either fixing it or doing this part for someone all the time. So, I mean, I'd rather make it more user-friendly for all the content editors if possible.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, so we'll take that one back.
And there's also, I think, the option with the rich text, or for at least the main body content, you do have the before, middle, and after placeholders to add in like a video component, and always add it in that way through the auxiliary content. If, you know, this HTML editing snippet stuff seems a little more complicated, it would just
Yeah, I think
be a
it's
matter of separating the content.
to have inline, which we didn't even have at all. So I don't know. I mean, I agree with Lori that it should be as maybe a little simplified, but you know, yeah, you're right. We have alternative methods.
Right, and I broke it down in the documentation as much as I could. Hopefully it helps. It makes sense a little bit. But yeah, there are other options, which is good too. And then, so the image carousel, this one, so we got the image here, and then the caption text, caption title, and then caption text. This is, I think this one was, let's see, either in the auxiliary image data source or on the actual page. So this one was meant to be in either or. So let me fix my Zoom here. All right, and so if you're editing it in the page itself, it's going to be a selector here. So you'll hit edit. And this is another one that we are currently cleaning up. So it'll just change a little bit of what you see here, but it will be a selector for you to choose which images you'd like to have there. And then you've got the header text. But this, Jesse, if you can just make sure that I have this correctly. So in this folder, is this how it's set? This is correct, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I kind of understand a little bit of your confusion. So in the auxiliary content region where you manage these items, so there are a set of items per each carousel. So in auxiliary content, you'll have two folders related to image carousel, right? So there's a items folder and then there's the actual carousel itself. But on the data, the page type template where you're editing right now, you're just selecting individual slides. You're not selecting the actual image carousel because all those fields are present. Does that kind of make sense? And that's just how it was spec'd out. So if you're not going to go this way, the data source will override it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I think, and we can take this offline. I think there is just an issue with getting this to actually display.
Sure.
But as long as this is what it's going to look like. So we've got the selector with the images themselves. So you actually get to build the carousel from here with the items that you have in this folder. But yeah, so like Jesse said, you can either choose here to display in the page itself, or you can use the presentation details and point to the items in the auxiliary folder here. And yep, so that's that folder, or that's the carousel. The generic promo is going to be also in the auxiliary folder. It's just the promo image, and then we got the title and link, and then the promo text. So same thing as all the others, you'll just point to it through the presentation details. And yeah. And so here's all the fields for those. So the title is just a text box field. The link, obviously, is a link selector. And then the promo text is a rich text editor, and then you can select the image. And then the related updates is just like the related news, the same concept here. So you can either, and these are all going to be in the auxiliary folder as well. And that's everything for the article detail page, or the article page, sorry. Any questions on that? Anything that we haven't covered? Nope. Okay. All right, I know I think we're running low on time, so let's try to quickly get through the detail page. I think this one is pretty straightforward. And I think most of these actually we've already covered. The only slight difference is the image carousel just looks slightly different than the other on the article page. So yeah, we've got the landing hero, the section nav, the body copy, and then image carousel, people promo, and the related news promo. Okay, so the hero, it can either just be blank like this, just with the blue background here, or you can add a link or an image. And then it's the same as the lab page, I believe it was, with the hero link override, or the backlink here. The image carousel it acts the exact same way as the article page. It just has different styles. So it'll still pull from the same image carousel items folder, and it will be either on the page itself, or you can point to it from the presentation details. And then here, just the same fields, same image, caption title, and caption text. And that is actually, yeah, that was the only difference. Everything else was used in the other pages. So they're documented up under the other sections. So yeah, that is the end of my training doc. Are there any questions on this page or anything else about any of the pages that we can help go over with you guys?
No, I
The
think.
image carousel. Oh, sorry. Quick question.
Go
At the
ahead.
image carousel, sorry. There are two different presentations, but use the same data source. So when like the ones you select has a different name, right? Just want to make sure.
Yep, I
Or
believe the
do we
one's
just
called a
select-
block. I think it's the image carousel block versus just the image carousel.
Yeah, there's two
Okay.
different rendering names. One has
Okay.
the name block in it.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know how you would have done it otherwise.
Yeah, sorry, I'll have to make sure and note that in the document as well. Sorry, I think I missed that.
Do we have more questions? There's just a few notes I've been working behind the scenes to try to get answers on some of our next steps. I'm happy to share those if we're done with questions. Okay. So it sounds like, and Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong based on any of the latter conversations in here, but it sounds like all the sort of refactor tweaks we've needed to make to the back end are pretty low effort things, and we'll be able to sort of get them done by COB today. So it doesn't sound like we'll need to wait any amount of time to really hand this stuff off. And then the last part, for the image size recommendations, I just reached out to our graphic designer and our front end dev, and it sounds like we might need to get that info from 3Spot. I can talk to more people on this end to try to get contact info for them, but since Audra's out, I don't know. Alicia, do you guys have a contact at 3Spot that I could connect with for the recommended image sizes?
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly reach out. I'm surprised your front end wouldn't have figured that from the design, but yeah, I can reach out to Jack.
Okay, yeah, we were kind of thinking that through the Fed process that they would have curated a list, but it doesn't sound like. It sounds like we might need to go the 3Spot route.
Okay.
Cool. That's all I had. I will reach out when we finished making those changes to the back end that we've discussed today on the call.
I have one really quick follow-up question. The image carousel, I have one really small concern with that one. If it's part of the article template and you want to incorporate a second carousel, is that ever going to need to be a consideration? We haven't really considered that. I just wanted to make sure.
On which page you're talking about, like a center landing page?
Any page that uses the image carousel, if we have that section on the template for that page, if there is a second image carousel on that page, I'm in for, like, if I don't want to get too technical. I just want to know if we are going to incorporate multiple carousels on a single page.
I could see it on a detail page.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I might need
So
to take
that's going to be a sub page for multiple section landing pages. And I'm thinking of labs and I'm thinking of innovation. And yeah, so I could certainly see them saying, here's a carousel of all of our tools. Here's a carousel of all of our other things. So yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. So Brandon, I'm going to have a meeting with our team about how to proceed when we get the final checkered flag from you guys that we're okay to QA starting tomorrow.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. I think we're good.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Later.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.